Hi guys, it's Goldensword. It's been a while. That glare from that light is terrible. Alright. Still there. You go away. Jeez. Huh. No. Anyway, uh, that's how professional recording is done. How you keep lights from shining on the webcam to make it look really bad. Um, yeah. Also, my hair is like really long right now. I need to go get it cut. It's like, yeah. Feel emo. When I wake up in the morning, and I go downstairs, my family calls me Shaggy. So I can just mold. Yeah. Hair mold. No, but seriously, if you guys don't know what this series I'm doing here, this is End of the Line. End of the Line is a fan fiction about the genocide run from Sans' point of view after the human dies. The human in this story doesn't reset. They leave. They get frustrated and they can't kill off Sans. So they leave forever. So what this story is about is, well, Sans facing hard times because his brother's dead and all that. I totally recommend you guys going and watching the beginning of the series. It's such a good series. I love this story. I think, yeah, CleverCatchphrase does an amazing job with this story. I totally recommend you guys please go listen or read. Even just go read it. I'll put the link. I have the link in the description. Just go read the story. But if you want to watch the videos too, go ahead and watch the videos or read along. Like open up the link and then you listen to the videos. I don't know. It's all fun. It's a great story. But just for the people who are new here and don't know what the story is, there you go. Just go do it. Go.
Secrets we're keeping could be used to light the dark, but we anti-gravity lock down humanity, lightning insanity striking inside me. Whoa, whoa, it's the heartbeat of mystery. Whoa, whoa, lightning inside me.
Why didn't you just teleport down there and catch them? You could have at least saved their dust.
You've been walking around in circles around Waterfall for over an hour now, still not ready to go back home, and even less ready to forgive yourself for what had happened in Alpheus's lab.
But that damn weed still would have shredded the pictures and smashed the pot. Even if you did save the dust, she would have still thought you destroyed the altar. You were the only one there at the scene of the crime. Not to mention, your very own weapon stuck in the wall. How could you even possibly explain that?
Your head is more of a mess than usual. Be it because of the flower or your own incompetence. Your mind just can't seem to move on from the incident. You've been trying in vain to talk yourself out of it, but much like your feet, your train of thought seems to be stuck in a circular track, always bringing you back the same recollections of how useless you had acted in asking the same questions you just knew you didn't have the answers to. Still, you keep talking until your voice gets raw and your legs go numb, searching for a solution you knew you wouldn't find.
God, why didn't you at least apologize? You just had to walk off like a cold-hearted dick, didn't you? Apologizing would have at least been a start. No. She wouldn't have believed you if you were being sincere. You certainly can't act like it anymore. If you tried, she would have thought you were mocking her. It would have been like rubbing salt in her wounds.
As you pace through the puddles for the umpteenth time, a cold rain drips into your skull and into your eye sockets. Water torture. If you hadn't been preoccupied with mindlessly walking around in circles, you may have been influenced just to stand there and let the sky punish you for all the mistakes you keep making, instead of trying to inflict it on yourself.
This is all your fault. She's never going to forgive you for this. I don't blame her. You'd rather just run away and find excuses.
You've made your way to a field of echo flowers now, and the flora, catching bits and pieces of your ranting, wasting no time whispering them back to you.
All your fault. Never going to forgive. Excuses.
You finally halt your endless trudging and listen to them for a second. It's incredibly helpful to have plants that will endlessly repeat what you say, so you can still have something to speak for you on every mistake and failure you've ever once made, and once your voice goes out.
Look at yourself. Even when you try your best to get better on your own, you end up hurting people. You shouldn't have even been relying on someone else to keep you in check in the first place. You're not a toddler. No one should have to be responsible for you. It just makes you a hassle to put up with.
You put your face in one hand.
God, Alpheus was only trying to help you too. Even if she could forgive you, you don't deserve her help anymore. You had one shot and you messed it up because you were too stubborn, and now here you are, talking to yourself in a field of flowers. Wonder how many people think you're officially gone way off the deep end.
Out of breath and practically mute, you took a break to sit amongst the bioluminescent flowers and let them do the talking for a bit. The patch you chose are bunched relatively close together, and it doesn't take long for the flowers to start swapping words with each other to make their own unique phrases.
In the way, don't deserve to be. No one to miss you. Better off gone.
You recline into the flower patch and vegetate as you gain some stamina, all the while listening to them babble to themselves. Eventually, all the flower echoes blend together into meaningless white noise, and you find yourself in an uncomfortable quiet filled with wordless static. Blankly, you stare at a gemmed, sparkling ceiling. Permanently placed stars that never fade or shift. As your eyes chase the glowing rocks above you, a memory flickers to life in the back of your mind. It's an old one. When you and Papyrus were both really young, the two of you would spend hours imagining your own constellations and making wishes with all your heart on the brightest stones. How old were you when you finally given up on those silly dreams and pointless prayers? When you finally realized that hoping and begging and pleading to the stars would get you nowhere. You couldn't remember for certain. You only knew it had been years ago, now since your last wishes on these indifferent rocks above you. Papyrus, on the other hand, had never stopped wishing. Be it bottomless optimism or endlessly enamored with the tradition, your brother never lost faith in the idea of wishing on stars, real or not. All monsters wishing for the same thing can't be wrong, he phrased from some plaque, or possibly undying. But hadn't all monsters wished to be free from the underground? Hadn't all monsters wished for their friends and family to come back after the human was stopped?
They had, and look how much wishing on rocks had done for them.
Not waiting to recall all those you didn't save, you quit stargazing and force yourself to get up and start walking once more. This time towards the large underground lakes that fed in from Snowdon's river. God, you haven't physically exercised this much in your entire life. Honestly, you wish you could go back to being your lazy self if only your own head wasn't out to get you. Along the way to the lake, you pass this mysterious statue, catch sight of Asgore's castle in the distance, and then come across more echo flowers? Funny, they never bloomed this far out before. Upon further inspection, you can see that they're all evenly spaced, far enough apart so they can't hear each other. And they each have ribbons tied to them. You walk up to the nearest one and take a closer look.
I won't forget your son.
It says forlornly.
Probably won't think.
The neighboring flower says, despondent. In memory of Griftwort, the third mourns. You stiffen when you understand. These flowers didn't grow here by chance. They were planted here intentionally. You're walking through a graveyard.
Timmy's will miss Timmy. Ice Cap.
Proby. Washawa. Aaron. So many names. So many monsters you watched die from the sidelines. So many monsters you could have saved if you had only intervened sooner. Hearing them all, it should have been sad. You wanted to feel sad, or guilty, or grief, or something. But you just couldn't. It was nothing but an empty void within you. You were tired of it.
I couldn't do this anymore.
You cave, hustling as fast as you can out of the cemetery. But you aren't heading home. You've decided that you can't go back. Not today, or ever again. You only slow when the pity soil gives way to the boardwalks with creaky wooden planks. The fake stars becoming few and far between, and castellets lines the path. Echo flowers continued to name monsters lost, monsters that you couldn't save, but eventually faded into the distance the further you went. You close your eyes and walk from memory, listening to your footfalls clank against the old wood, knowing exactly which twists and turns to take from their sound alone.
Undyne fought the human on this bridge.
One part of your brain notes.
She severed the bridge.
You are aware.
Think about something else.
The other part of your brain orders to keep you distracted.
Don't open your eyes. Keep walking. Don't look.
Step after step, you slowly move forward, blind and resolute.
Why are you doing this? Don't do this. This is a bad thing.
The tiny bit of reason left in your head tells you. But it doesn't sound alarmed, or even concerned. More like it's only telling you out of obligation. It seems even your own self-preservation has given up.
Bad? How?
You argue with yourself to stay occupied.
It's not like I'm taking anybody down with me. And I wouldn't be able to hurt more people like I did Alpheus. No one will even miss me.
You could sense you were on the widest part of the bridge now. The big open platform, judging by the sound of its echoes.
I don't want to wake up each day knowing that I could have saved so many lives if I had just acted sooner. And I especially don't want to wake up knowing I can't even care about it anymore. But suicide is wrong. Because it just is.
Your logic argues weakly. Only illegitimate arguments, either forgotten or intentionally repressed.
Okay, then how about a deal?
You bargain with yourself, eyes still closed.
I can't stand being like this anymore. Emotionless, empty. But if I manage to feel something before I reach the drop, I'll stop.
You agreed to the terms and keep walking, waiting, expecting to feel some hint of emotion as each step brought you closer to the end. A small twang of apprehension, or doubt perhaps. Hell, you'd even take fear and self-loathing back as long as it was something. But nothing came to you. There is still wood beneath your feet. How long is this boardwalk? You thought it was broken. Your questions get answered the very instant when the next thing you realize, gravity taken a sudden interest in you, embracing your body as you slip from the demolished bridge. Your eyes fly open and you grasp at the sight of a bottomless black pit rushing up to meet you. 2 seconds too late, the feeling you were hoping to save your life hits you strong and hard. A second more and you're able to identify it, just as the darkness swallows you whole. It's regret.